I feel delighted to welcome Satya Prakash Rai, who is founder and chief executive officer of a company, new started company, which is known as Canam Ellen Tech Solutions and Service Private Limited, located at Bangalore. I am happy that Satya Prakash did his BTech from BC Bhagalpur, and therefore we feel all the teaching community feel proud on his achievement, Satya Prakash Rai, and you give him a big applause clapping to welcome him. He is entrepreneur, basically turned as an entrepreneur, but turning into entrepreneurship, he did job earlier in different software company, diversified company for 15 years before starting this company. This is a startup company, and he is doing lot of hard work to nurture the young generations in inculcating and imparting the new domain of technology. Now the technology is changing very fast, and we have to move with a moving technology. He is expert in technology evaluations, product and framework, and leadership, as well as consumer relationship. He is young technocrats, always curious about BC Bhagalpur and all College of Bihar. He is committed to help the students of Bihar to come up in new skills. Nowadays, there are different names of technology. On this topic, I am not acquainted, frankly speaking, DevOps, but I will try to grasp it. I have heard the name of artificial intelligence, IoT, user XP, and this is a new domain of technology in which I think a lot of jobs are available if the students are trained for that. And Satya Prakash is also helping students to go for internship in this new domain of technology. And technology is nowadays part of our life. And all the students, bright students who are trained here in India, exported to USA, Japan, China. This is the strength of India. We are exporting people to USA and importing materials from there. This is the strength of India. This is the strength of Bihar. And in this way, by exporting people to USA, they are remitting money to their motherland. And in this way, India has become prosperous. Bihar will also become prosperous. There is only a strength of the Bihari students. They have to develop skills, new skills, which is in demand at the global level. Now human resource are treated like a commodity in the global market. And if you are competent to international supply chain link of employment in quality as well as price, both like a commodity, then you will be in demand in the global market. And no doubt Indian skills are recognized in most developed country, USA, United States of America. At least 20 companies are headed by Indian CEO in USA. One of the name is Sundar Pichai, another is uh, uh, yeah, Nuri, and there are number of names which all students know it. All students know it better than me, young generations. And Satya Prakash has come here to provoke our students, to motivate our students, motivate his younger friends, part of his alumni network, to go for new skills. As technology is changing very fast, and therefore it is the compulsion of the time for each and everyone to learn new skills. And I do not know much about DevOps. Satya Prakash will throw light on this and educate us, all the teaching community as well as my students. Again, I welcome you, Satya Prakash, to make deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for providing me an opportunity to talk about the latest trend in technologies. I feel privileged to be a part of this. I did my engineering from Bhagalpur College of Engineering in 2005. And then I started working for MNC in Bangalore. After working for 13 plus years, I decided to quit my job one day, and then I started my own company, Kena Melon Tech Solutions. And we are currently serving both domestic and international clients. Apart from that, I'm also an active participant in community welfare initiatives. I'm also running a registered association in Bangalore, Alumni Association. So thank you all for joining this session. So now I'd like to share my screen and start talking about the DevOps. These days, DevOps is the hot topic in IT industry. It's a buzzing word in IT industry. Every company in IT industry is shifting towards DevOps. So let me share my screen. So you guys are able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
See, DevOps, it's a self-explanatory. You can see that DevOps, Dev plus of development plus operations. So what is DevOps? So in earlier days, how it used to happen is, it's very simple. You see, you collect the requirement from a client, customer, prospect, whatever you say. Then what do? You write those requirements in a document that is called user requirement specification document. Then technical person convert that into SRS, system requirement specification document. Then architect team, your architect in the team prepares a HLD, high level design document. Then senior developer or technical lead will prepare low level design document, and then your developer will start working on it. They will code, they will unit test it, they will perform integration testing, and then they will pass it to the testing team. Testing team will write the document, use case, test case document. They will set up the environment. They will execute the test cases. They will find defects. Development team, again, they will fix the defects and then pass it to testing team, to and fro happening. And then one day when defects are very less, team decides to, management team decides to release the software to the client. See, it's a long process. You can see that from the moment you capture the requirements into URS document till you release the software. It's, you see, there are so many steps. It took minimum 6 months in earlier days, minimum 6 months to release one feature. Then you see here, now you see DevOps. What here? Development is working. You see handshake, you see development plus IT operations. See, development team and operations team both are working together. And this is a practice. DevOps is a practice. It's not a framework. It's not a tool. It's not a technology. I have written here, you see that? It's not any set of processes like CMMI or rule book or framework or license tool you can use. No, it's a set of practices. Development team and IT operations, both the teams are following. It's a culture. How it is, you see, I would like to explain it with the help of one very simple example. Let's see, WhatsApp. Everybody is using WhatsApp. Now you see, one person in USA started this company WhatsApp back in 2009. And then one feature he developed, web client for accessing WhatsApp. In 2010, again then he provided the facility to send the attachment. Again then read receipt. It's optional. They have made it configurable. If you want to read, sorry, if you want to make others know that, okay, you have read it or not, that feature is there. Then WhatsApp was supported on Mac and Windows operating system. Then video call, group video call. You see how they are developing. They started the journey in 2009 and now it's 2020. 11 years, you see WhatsApp, wow, how many features they have added. It's a big company. Again, Facebook has bought that company. So that's a different story. But you see how WhatsApp has developed. See, same thing, because why I have given this example, because everybody is using WhatsApp. Now you see, this is the development part. Development team is adding the features. They are releasing the features at regular intervals. What about production team? Now you say, when you have production team or operation team, every day WhatsApp operation team is taking the backup of your messages. They are constantly monitoring the usage of the CPU, system, memory. They are monitoring. They have a dedicated team to handle your queries. What if WhatsApp is crashing in your mobile? What is that? Why it's crashing? So they have a dedicated operations team. So you see the difference between development team and operations team. If you understand that, then it will be very easy for me to explain the concepts. What development team does, what operations team does. In the case of WhatsApp, you can see development team is working on the features. They are developing the features, and we have a production team, you can say, or operations team, you can see. They are making sure that WhatsApp is running in your mobile properly. It's not crashing. When you send SMS, it goes to the destination. When you send attachment, it goes to the recipient. That's the job of the operations team. Every day they are taking the backup. They have huge servers. Constantly they are looking out for new ways of expansion. they will go to cloud, they will increase the RAM, they will increase the CPU capacity. Why they are doing so? Because when WhatsApp has 1000 users, just for example, they might be needing only one CPU, one machine, one server, that's it. But one CPU will not be sufficient when they have 5000 users. Then they might need 3 CPU. Now you think, or now you scale it at a level of millions. When you have 1 million subscriber, how many servers you need? When you have 10 million subscribers, how many servers you need? How many resources will be required to handle the network? See, WhatsApp everybody is using. You see how WhatsApp works. Where are the servers? It's very easy for us to send the attachment, and within no time, within a fraction of a second, it goes to it reaches the recipient's WhatsApp. But how is this possible? Behind that, there is a large number of resources or people or operation team who is working day and night, 24/7 they are working. 24/7 WhatsApp works because 24/7 operations team work. So coming back to DevOps concept now. So now you see, so by now, I guess you have understood what is development team doing and what is operations team doing. So if you have any questions, you can ask me at the end, because it's a webinar for a limited amount of time. So you can ask me questions at the end. You see here, development methodology. Earlier days, 95, 2000, 2010 also, 15 also, many companies used waterfall model. One by one, step by step, you see from top to bottom approach. First you finish top, then you come to bottom. So as you see, so unless and until you finish requirement capturing part, you cannot develop. But nowadays, it's not happening. People are not ready to wait for 6 months or 1 year for the new features. They want new features to be rolled out every quarter, every month. Younger generations are impatient. They can't wait for 1 year for a particular feature to be there in the WhatsApp. They want it immediately. Let's say video call. In WhatsApp earlier, there was a facility for one person. Between two persons you can make. But nowadays you can make video call for 10 persons. You can do that. So now it will be for 100 persons. Means after some time. So constantly companies are also working towards it, and people are also not ready to wait for a longer period of time for the new features. You see, first waterfall model was there in IT industry. You capture the requirement, you develop it, you test it, then you test it, release it, and then it will be deployed on production. Then agile methodology came. Agile, you see, plan it, design it, develop it, test it, and release it. Small chunks you do it, you deploy it. You see how they are planning, sprint planning for 3 weeks of time. They will pick some requirements based on the priority set by the client. They will work on that. They will write code, they will test it, and they will send it to the customer. So a small chunk for one sprint for 2-3 weeks. 2-3 weeks they will work. They will send the release. Again next sprint. Again for 2-3 weeks they will work on the new set of requirement, and they will send the release. They will release the feature. They will deploy it. But now one more step. You can see DevOps. One more step. No. So DevOps, development plus operations, you not only you release, you deploy also, or you operate it also. Same feature. Here you see there is a huge gap in waterfall model between production and the development team. Here gap is less, but not fully bridged. Here it's fully bridged. Development team work on the requirement, they will code, they will test the code, and then they will release, and then operations team immediately they will deploy it and they will make sure that okay, it's working fine. So DevOps is a set of practices that has bridged the gap between development team and operations team. It's as simple as that. So first of all, you must understand that what is development team is doing. What is the role of the development team? Then you should understand that what is the role of the operations team. What is operations team doing? When you understand their role clearly, then you will very well understand what is DevOps doing. DevOps is bridging the gap. It's about collaboration. You have to work as a team. I have written here, DevOps is working as a single team. So whatever requirement is there, development team will work on it. When they finishes, they will immediately send it to operations team. They will deploy it. So the gap, you see, the gap is less now, very, very less now. You see, any industry you go, three things are there. Any industry you go, IT industry also enablers you see, people, process and tools. Everybody people will be there. Nothing is possible without people, process and tools. You see process and tools, you see automation, collaboration, innovation, and automation. Here DevOps hits in. DevOps, what is DevOps doing? You can see that it's everywhere. It's a people part also, it's for process part also, it's for tools part also. You see the component of DevOps, you see. So first is continuous integration. So when you see what I mean integration, you see when you write code, I'll just write here. You see when you have, let's say we have requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3. You have 3 requirements that you plan to deliver in the next release. Fine. So you have 3 requirements. Let's say 2 developers are working, developer 1 and developer 2. 2 developers are working on it. So they will write the code, something, let's say they are writing something. Simple. They are writing, but they have to push the code in one place, because unless and until they write the code and merge it in one place, it's not possible to send the release. It's not possible to, you see here, the integration part you see. Developers will write code. They have files in which they have written codes, and then they will push the file to one server, where one person who is administrating that server can see that this file has come from this developer. So I will come to that source control. I will come to that source control. We have tools, Git, SVN, Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab. We have that. I will come to that. Then you have continuous testing. When you check in means you are merging you are pushing your code. When you check in, then testing has to start. Let's say, I would say, let's say you have 100 files in server. Let's say simple C++ files. C++ files you have. You have 100 files, code is written, and one more file you have written. One file you have written, let's say name developer A, let's say A. One more file. So now you have 100 plus 2 files. So there is a change, the delta change. So when you merge these two files, so it becomes 102 files. Now what is the guarantee that when you merge these two files, those 100 files will work? There is no guarantee. To make sure that delta changes doesn't have any effect on the existing files, and it's working. You have 100 files, you have already tested, it's working, code is working fine, you have written that. Now developer 1 has written one file, C++ file, let's see, some lines of code, 10 lines of code. Developer 2 has written 20 lines of code, or now they are pushing the files to the server. So this server has now 100 plus 2 files, 102 files. So there is no guarantee that it will work. So we have to test it. You can test it manually, you can run, or you can make it automated. So now here automation will come into picture. Automation plays a major role in DevOps. But at the same time, I would like to tell you, automation is not DevOps. Automation is just a part to it, part of it. It's just one element of DevOps is automation. Automation is very important. Any industry you go, automation has like every industry is now thinking of automating their stuff. They want to automate their regular tasks, mundane tasks, they want to automate. So here also automation is, again, I'm saying it's just one element in DevOps. So you see, now that is continuous testing. The moment you merge those two files, build will trigger. That's the beauty of DevOps. So developer has written code in two files and they are merging it, that is integration. Build will trigger, tool is there. I'll tell you, tool is there. So it will test the changes, test the delta changes, it's working or not, it will tell you. Immediately you will come to know what you have written is working or not. Immediately, within seconds, you will come to know whatever changes you have made, it's working or not. Earlier, it used to take a lot of time because you have to merge, then you have to create build, and then you have to test it. Yeah, during compilation, if you are facing issues, it's fine. But again, it will take a lot of time. But now, not only they are building the solution nowadays, tools are very intelligent. They're also testing it. They will build the solution, they will test it. Now you see the continuous delivery part. If testing passes, it will pass it to the operations team. It will deliver, it will send the release to the operations team. Till here, you see development team. Development team is in picture here. They are writing the code. They are pushing the changes to the server. Testing, build is to Jenkins, no, sorry, DevOps tools are doing testing. It's it's automation. Selenium you can use, JUnit you can use. For build Jenkins you can use. I'll show you the list of tools. Then you send it to operations team. Operations team will deploy the changes and then they will monitor it. You see how it's happening. It's so quick. You are rolling out the feature and after a day or two, it goes to production and the user starts working. It's like WhatsApp is releasing a new feature and immediately it comes to you. But if you see how big companies are still working on the old models, they have a beta version. WhatsApp will release a feature. They will test it on their beta version with limited set of users. And after 3-4 months of time only, they will ask you to install. They will release the features for general public. So again, it's a big company. I understand. They take their own time before they release the feature for the general public. But in industry, nowadays, customer or client doesn't want to wait for infinite amount of time nowadays. Everybody wants quick results. The okay, requirement is there, get it developed and get it deployed soon. That is the mantra in DevOps. Faster delivery, quality delivery, and tools are doing most of the things. Manual job, no, there is no scope for manual job in DevOps. So earlier you see testing, there were many people in millions still are they are doing manual testing. They are testing manually. No, DevOps is going to take their job unless and until you upskill yourselves. It will be very difficult to survive in IT industry because technology is evolving. Customer wants more value from us, so we have to evolve ourselves so that we can survive. You see the life cycle again. Life cycle, everybody knows what is life cycle. You must have studied in 10th. You see how it's a development, first part, development, testing, integration, deployment, monitoring. How it is. So developer will work on code, they will develop, they will push the changes, development, testing, tester will test it. Again, Selenium is there, automated tools are there. Automation testing is into picture now here. Integration, you have to integrate it, deploy it on production, monitor it. So this is DevOps life cycle. Now I'll come to tools part. You see tools, developers are writing code. So you have to use this Git repository where you can check in your files. There are repositories. Bitbucket is an Australian company. Git is a tool. Now GitHub, it's a Microsoft company. Microsoft is owning it. And Bitbucket. So Bitbucket, GitHub, it's a hosting platform. They will give you the access for the repository. You can put your files, all your files. GitHub is free. They have basically both the options, free and paid versions they have. You can go for free if you have a small team. Same way for Bitbucket. So developers will write code, be it in C, C++, Java, C# or any language. You put that in one file and push it into Bitbucket. Now you see requirement, you come to the requirement part. So you have to capture the requirement. For that, Australian company has this product Jira. TFS, again it's a Microsoft Team Foundation Server. VSTS, again it's a Visual Studio Team Services from Microsoft. So you have tools from big companies. Configuration management, you see in DevOps there are hundreds of tools, but again you have to learn only most popular tools. Let me tell you again, every company in IT industry is shifting towards DevOps because they see value in it. They can see that they are able to roll out the feature in less amount of time. They can make more business. That's why it's a hot topic in the IT industry. They see value. They can see that there was a gap between development and operations team. Now with DevOps, that gap is very less, or it's not there. So they see value in it. That's why every company is shifting towards DevOps. Testing job, you see, millions of jobs were there in testing earlier, but now not many jobs you will find for manual testers. Why? Because agile came, automation came. Now DevOps has come. Like AI, machine learning, data science, DevOps is also one of the top job providers, technology in IT industry. You can read more about DevOps on Google. There are hundreds of websites that has given information on DevOps. You can see that, and more than 100 companies are there which has built DevOps tool. Like you see Bitbucket, Atlassian company, GitHub, Microsoft. You see Ansible, Puppet, Jenkins. Open source tools are also there. Docker, Kubernetes, cloud hosting. You see, for cloud hosting, Amazon. Amazon is a big company. You see, Azure, it's from Microsoft. GCP, Google Cloud Platform, it's from Google. Big companies are there in this. They are going to implement these DevOps practices in their company. Not only they provide tools, they also encourage their clients to use DevOps tools. So yeah, this is the introduction about DevOps. Any questions if you have, you can ask me, because it has to be an interactive session. The more you ask, the more you know about DevOps, and I'll answer that. DevOps, it's a very vast topic. 1 or 2 days, nobody can cover the entire thing, but just to touch the each and every part of it surfacely, I prepared this PPT, this PDF document, and then I am expecting you guys to ask questions. How it is in IT industry, what is the future of DevOps, what all tools we are using, any related to a DevOps, you can ask me. I'm opening this session forum for question and answer. Hello.
Hello, if you have any questions, then please ask. Sir, actually, I have one question. In which manner the waterfall model or other model are different from this DevOps?
Yes. You see what? Yeah.
Yep.
Shall I answer to that?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So you see waterfall model, you see here. You see waterfall model, you have a requirement, set of requirement. Let's say 10 requirements you have. Let's say you have 10 requirements. You got it from customer. You wrote it in one Word document called URS, user requirement specification document. Now, someone in your team converted into SRS, system requirement specification document, what is possible, what is not possible, what are the constraints, performance criteria. So now you have SRS document for 10 requirements. You see. Now your architect prepared one document, high level design document, the algorithm part for 10 requirements, HLD for 10 requirements. You see, we are finishing the step one by one. We are finishing the step one by one, you see. Now you see low level document for 10 requirements. Now coding will happen for 10 requirements. Test case document will be prepared for these 10 requirements. So you are coming from top to bottom. You are finishing coding, then you are testing. You are capturing the requirement in a URS document, then you are coming to SRS. When your SRS is ready, you are coming to HLD. When your HLD is ready, you are coming to LLD. Then coding, then testing. So it's a waterfall. Water is falling from top. But in Agile, how will you do? Let's say you have got 10 requirements. So what you will tell? You will tell, okay, no problem. I have got 10 requirements, but in first phase or sprint, first phase, I will deliver you 3 requirements only. Just see the difference. And I will not prepare all this document. I will prepare only one use case document. Nothing. Here, use no URS document. For 3 requirements, I'll prepare use case document. I will do the coding, write the develop it for 3 requirements. I'll write test case document for 3 requirements. I'll do testing and release it. No user guide, no release document. I will release it. That's it. You see. So sprint 1, let's say for 3 weeks from 16th of October to let's say 7 November approx. Sprint 1, 3 weeks you are delivering 3 requirements. Again on 8th of November you will start sprint 2. You will see here. Again you will do the same thing. Let's say this time you have picked, I will deliver 5 requirements. It's up to you. 5 requirements. Total you have 10 requirements. 3 requirements you delivered from in sprint 1. You worked from 16th of October to 7th November. Here is sprint 2, 8th November to 3 weeks again, 29 November. Now you told the client, okay, this sprint, I will deliver 5 requirements. So you worked. You see, now you delivered, now you sent the release. Now I'm coming to DevOps part. You are releasing it here, your job is over. But DevOps is same thing. Now one step further we are taking here. So I'll copy it. Same thing. I'll sprint 1 for 3 weeks, 3 requirements, release it. Here one more, deploy it, test it, and then make it live, monitor it. See, one step further we have taken. In waterfall, this is waterfall. So we are doing one by one. All 10 requirements you are capturing in document, HLD, LLD, coding, testing, and then you are releasing. That's it, over. One by one we are doing. It's like waterfall step. In Agile, you have picked a small set of requirements. Okay, out of 10 requirements, you told the client that, okay, in 3 weeks, I will deliver 3 requirements, 3 features, and I will work for this period, 16th of October to 7th of November. And then you did the use case document, no elaborate documentation. Coding will do, test case document, yes, it will be there, and test it and release it. You release it, that's it. Now it will go to the client. Now it's a client headache to put the release into production. It's a client headache, or it's the team headache. Client means client has a team, IT team, customer care team. In sprint 2 for Agile, you said, okay, I'll work from 8th November to 29th of November. This time I'll deliver 5 requirements. Fine. So you do the again use case document, coding, test case document, testing and release it. But in DevOps, you see how you will tell your client, I will work for 3 weeks. I will deliver 3 requirements. Not only I will send it to, I will release it, I will also deploy it, I will test it, I will make it live, and I will monitor it. So how you are seeing the difference. So here you are interacting with the operations team also, and you are asking them, you deploy my software. I want to see whether it's working or not. If there are issues in production server, live server, you let me know. Let us know what are the issues. So DevOps is one step further. So you got my point?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Have I
in
answered
general,
your question?
yes, sir. In general practices, we have to prepare SRS first.
Yeah.
In comparing to other models. But I think in DevOps or Agile, there is no need of SRS.
No need. It's a use case document. That's it. No need of SRS. It's a
Oh, directly we are able to convert our problem or requirement is in the form of a use case. Am I right?
use case document. That's it.
Okay,
Use
okay.
case document you have to prepare, and then you have to jump back to coding immediately. You don't have to waste time, because here you see you have only 21 days, 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, you have to deliver 5 requirements, and that you have committed. So what you will do, you will write one use case document and then start coding. It will take 2 or 3 days or 4 days max, because you have a window of only 21 days. If you like waterfall, if you have 10 requirements, if you start preparing documents for all 10 requirements, then it will take weeks. It's here 10, but it can be in waterfall big projects. It can be 100. Let's say 1000 is too big. 100 requirements. So to prepare the detailed document for 100 requirements, it will take months. And then you prepare high level design document. Algorithm you write. Then you low level design document. You write the database interaction. You write user interface code. Then you start coding. That's why waterfall model, it takes minimum 6 months. And it's a huge investment. And after 6 months, if you realize that that feature has no demand in the market, you are wasting money. So clients don't see much value in it. After 6 months, and 6 months is not a small amount of time, and they have invested millions, and after 6 months they realize, oh, it's off, it's not much, it's of not much use, then it's a waste of money. That's why what they do, they tell us, you deliver 3 requirements in 3 weeks of time. These 3 I want to see. I want to test it in market. So in Agile, they ask us to prepare use case document, write code, test it, and send it. They will deploy it. They themselves will deploy it. But in DevOps, not only are capturing the requirements, writing the code, testing, we are also making sure that it's deployed into production successfully. It's live. So client has less headache now. What they want, they are getting it. In Agile, you see, here we are releasing it, we are sending it to the client place. Now client has a dedicated IT team, operations team. They are taking care of deployment. They have their own set of problems, hardwares, communication gap is there. Let's say development team is in Bangalore and operation team is in USA. So we have released the software. We have sent the release. Now they have their own schedule. They will decide when to deploy. And let's say after 1 month, they decide to deploy. Okay, after 1 month, we will deploy. Then in Bangalore, let's say development team has moved to some other project. They are not there. Then what will happen? So to make sure that end to end is taken care of from the requirement stage to production stage. The moment client tells you the requirement, okay, I want this feature. So when they say, I want this feature, the job of the DevOps team is to make sure that they capture the requirement and put it into production. In between, there are a lot of stages like use case document, coding, testing, releasing, deploying, again testing, make it live and monitoring. You see everything end to end, they are taking care. So end to end, you see nowadays clients see value in it because we are taking care of their concerns end to end. Yeah.
Students, you have any questions, then please ask. The student side. If you have any questions, any confusion related with DevOps or any other thing, then please ask.
Any simple question you can ask students, even if it is not related to DevOps, please don't hesitate. Because I am from your college, I have passed engineering in 2005. I am from your college, so I know the college very well. So you should not have any hesitation.
Hello.
Please ask any question, any basic question.
Hello. Whether the production, testing, and development environment are same in this?
No, it's not same. If I have heard you correctly, what you have asked me is the development and testing are not the same. You have asked me this?
Whether these things are, whether development, testing, and deployment are on the same server or same environment or different
environment. Okay. Okay, I'll explain. See, for let's say waterfall. So let's say waterfall only. Here you see for coding, we have one dedicated development environment where developers will work. When you test it for functional testing, let's say functional testing or system testing, you have one system testing environment. For performance testing, where you are testing the performance of the application, you have cluster or performance testing. Just to make it simple, we have performing testing environment. To make it very simple, I would say development environment means, let's say, very layman, it's in layman word, one box. As simple as that. One box or one deck or one laptop. I'll make it even for one laptop. One laptop, you have Windows server installed. Operating system, you have database or client also, anything. One laptop, let's say, development, you have installed application server, you have installed database server, you have installed browser, operating system, Java, whatever. One environment. Testing team also will set up one environment. Again, it's a one laptop. But when I say one laptop, you must understand that the capacity will vary. For performance testing, the RAM capacity, the CPU, the server, that will vary. You understand that if you want to run test performance, you have to run load requests, performance testing. For simple, you see, you book a ticket on IRCTC website. You see the peak time, how many users are logging to the system. You see the load on that server. Sometimes it crashes. Why it crashes? It's not that it doesn't work. Functionality is working fine. User is able to log in, but when number of users increases, system is not able to take load. Functional, you log in at 12 o'clock in the night, it will work fine. Perfectly, you will be able to book a ticket on IRCTC website. But peak time, or let's say when they start opening this Tatkal ticket and all, 2-3 minutes you see how many users are logging. Same server doesn't work. So if you have to do performance testing of your application, the server capacity should be higher. So then system testing environment, again, there is one more here, SAT testing, site acceptance testing. Client wants application to be tested in their environment. So it's let's say one laptop. One laptop, it's not correct. I'm again, just to make you understand, I'm telling, I should write one server where application server is installed plus database server is installed. Now again I'm coming, you can install application server in one machine, database server is in one machine. It's up to you. Again, I'm telling, when you scale up, when you have millions of subscribers like WhatsApp, like Facebook, like Twitter, you can't manage with just one data center. You can't manage with one server. You have to have thousands of servers to handle the load. So it depends on the load, how many users are there, how many subscribers are there. Based on the number of users, subscribers, you are deciding on your configuration. You can put everything in one laptop, one server, everything. Functionality wise, it's fine, perfectly fine. But when number of users increases, no, it will not work. So then you have to have hundreds of laptops, hundreds of servers. When I say laptop, it means server, not your personal laptop. Just you understand that. Operating system, you have home edition, you have enterprise edition, you have professional edition. You see why there are 3 different versions of the same software. Enterprise edition has more features. So when you say development means you are writing code, you are unit testing it, you are integration, you are doing integration testing. One box, one environment, one server. System testing is different. Performance testing is different. Site acceptance testing is different. And after that, when it goes to the production server, scenario changes because they are running live servers. Live servers, they are running. Let's say anything, WhatsApp, you see WhatsApp, they have live servers. Or say, let's say, I would say go for to make you understand it in a very simple way. Let's say any SBI bank server. Now you see SBI bank server. You transfer 1,000 rupees to someone's account. You see, that's a live server. SBI will never give you the access to the live servers. You are working for SBI. Let's say my company is working for SBI. I am supporting SBI. But even then, SBI will not give us the access to their production server because of so many obvious reasons. They will not give because it's their live server. It's their business. Ultimately, everything comes down to business, money. Why they are running servers? To make money. So you have to understand that. So as live server, they will never give access. That's why DevOps has come into picture now. DevOps team will get the access to their live server. They will give. Okay, you fix the issue. Any issue, you fix that. IRCTC website, you see many times. You must have seen that. You book the ticket. You attempted, I would say, attempted to ticket amount debited, but not allotted many times. What happens? It failed. After some time, they will credit back to your account. But what if they don't? Then you have to raise complaint. Live servers has its own set of issues. They will never give you to the access. That's why this DevOps team has come. Okay, very dedicated team, which has access to both development team, test and development and production team, production environment access. Have I answered to your question?
Yes, sir. Any other questions? If any students have any type of questions, then please ask. So I think, sir, now we have no more questions.
Okay.
So now,
Okay.
thank you very much, sir, for this nice presentation. And you have demonstrated in a very good way. And also we all know about DevOps and other thing, what actually going on in current industry. So I hope this will be very useful for our students as well as our faculty member. Once again, we are very much thankful for you to give us your valuable time and enlighten us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to share the feedback form. Shall I share with you? So
Yeah,
at least
you may send us or just to share your feedback here in this chat
okay.
box.
Sure.
If your feedback is ready, then you
Yeah, it's
put
ready.
it. Otherwise, you may also send.
No, it's ready.
Okay.
So you can share your feedback on this Google form. It will be very helpful. Any questions you can reach out to me on this mail ID.
Sir, you
This
may
is my
also share
personal
your
email ID.
into chat box, so that if students have any questions.
So you can see, sir, the link I have sent. Can you see it,
Yeah,
sir?
yeah, sir. Your link is visible, and I'm also requested to all students, please fill this feedback form. It's mandatory for all to please fill this feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, providing me an opportunity to present a session on DevOps. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.